Without playing by any rules whatsoever and without consideration for context, size, scale, and so forth, let us compare the planets in our solar system with these bits and pieces of technology. Optical technology, camera technology, sensor technology. Also bear in mind that I have done my homework on this, and the chemical composition of these technologies that you see are the same chemical compositions of the planets. Now, it is significant that lenses, digital imaging chips, sensors, and so forth, some of them are produced using hydrogen, helium, and methane. These are among the most abundant elements in the planets in the solar system, especially the gas giants. We are moving into an area where we will look at what are called CMOS chips and CCD chips and DSLR chips and other types of color sensor chips, as well as lenses and lens filters. Now, these chips and some of these cameras we are going to look at are dedicated to converting analog signals to digital signals, or optical signals to electrical signals. And it is interesting that the colors of these lenses and digital imaging chips that you see generally have everything to do with what these chips and lenses are used for. The bands of colors that you see in some of these chips, each and every band is responsible for picking up its own unique photonic spectral signature or something to that effect. And I don't doubt for a second that the chemical composition of the gas giants and the rings of gas giants are probably similar to the chemical composition of these lens filter chips that we are looking at right now. Keywords are hyperspectral imaging, multispectral imaging, even hypermulltspectral imaging. And what they can do with some of these digital imaging chips is pack up a whole bunch of them together so they can come up with super duper high resolution images. They're used in astrophotography, satellite imaging, and so forth. So the next time you look out at the planets in our solar system, you just damn well might be being watched. So you might want to go out and buy some tinfoil and wrap it around your head or something. Because what I am showing you and telling you is just the tip of the iceberg of what I have out there. And I am sick and tired of spending hours and hours and hours editing this stuff and narrating. So I am just going to try to lay these images out and just be the referee. One of the reasons I got started on this project is because when I was a kid, I used to break apart machinery, including radios, TVs, anything I could get my hands on, cameras, computers. And then I went off to do other things, and then the internet came out, and so I started taking an interest in astronomy and astrophysics, geology, and so forth. And then I started putting two and two together, and this is what I came up with about 25 or 30 years later. But the internal and external, visible and invisible, structure and dynamics and compositions and so forth and so forth and so forth of the planets, not just in our solar system but other solar systems, I would bet money are mere images of the structure, composition, and so forth of these technologies that I am showing you that have to do with photography and biological imaging and astrophotography and microscopy and so forth. I could only find a limited amount of material to support my cybernetic universe, technoverse theory. And my concepts that appear in my head far outpace my ability to come up with the material to support these concepts. But the thing I find interesting is that at this point I know exactly what I am looking for when I go looking for it. I don't doubt for one second that the universe is some kind of gigantic machine that produces life forms as well as analyzes and scans these life forms. And that is not even the half of it. Part of the reason we don't recognize the universe as technology is because the secrets of the universe are right under our nose. Plus, many of the technologies that I am showing you have just recently been developed. A lot of these people have never seen these technologies, let alone looked inside these technologies to see how they were put together. They don't know that the chemical composition of these technologies are the same as the chemical composition of the planets and so forth. Here are some examples of some microscopes: multispectral, hyperspectral, fluorescent microscopes. And this includes microscope color filter wheels for multispectral cellular sensing, detection, and other big words that I don't think I need to use in this video. Some of this material, some of you may have already seen. I always try to introduce new material in my videos, even if I am reusing other material. I would not bet my life that the solar system was some kind of microscope or spectroscope, but it sure acts like one. And if the Earth were flat, then the Earth would be what is called a laboratory on a chip. Laboratory on chips, they are biosensors, and they are being merged with CMOS digital imaging chips, including microfluidic chips. These are biological sensor chips. They're used to study and analyze and manipulate cells, DNA, as well as particulates. Most of the Earth is covered in water. Earth is some kind of laboratory on a chip. And the core of the Earth you know, the sun, well, I don't know about the core of the sun, but I think the sun is the light source for some kind of optofluidic digital biochip, like these that you see here. The moon, as you will soon see, serves as some kind of lens structure, digital imaging chip structure, or something to that effect, not unlike a microscope lens or something. Bearing in mind the Earth produces a relatively powerful electromagnetic field, which is largely generated by its core, I think that the Earth is some kind of ultra-sophisticated lens/imaging system, or a part thereof, that defies the imagination. These are just some random images that I picked off the web. One of the most difficult parts of this project is formatting the pictures. And many of the images on the web are copyrighted, and I've done everything in my power to not cross that line, but I failed absolutely freaking miserably. But I think I am onto something with this cybernetic universe theory. If I didn't think that, then I would not be wasting my time. It seems we have a tooth fairy universe, a nihilistic universe, or the cybernetic universe. I must admit that I do have my doubts about my cybernetic universe technoverse theory. But it seems that everything falls into place like a jigsaw puzzle. I am going to conclude this video by saying that I have other videos out there. Each and every one of them illuminates a part of the jigsaw puzzle of our cybernetic universe. I do not have the time or the resources to synthesize everything yet. And I am aware of the fact that there is a lot of junk science in this video. But if you did like this video, then give it the thumbs up, and not to satisfy my narcissism, but so that I will know if I am in the right direction.